First reading, Abraham-Chesed. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. The blessing, if you shall hearken to the commandments of the Lord your God which I command you this day, and the curse, if you shall not hearken to the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods which you have not known. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord your God shall bring you into the land which you go to possess it, that you shall set the blessing on Mount Gerizim, and the curse on Mount Ebal. Are they not beyond the Jordan, toward the setting sun, in the land of the Canaanites that dwell in the Arabah, opposite Gilgal, beside the terebinth trees of Moreh? For you are to cross over the Jordan, to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God gives you, and you shall possess it, and dwell in it. And you shall observe to do all the statutes and the ordinances which I set before you this day. These are the statutes and the ordinances which you shall observe to do in the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you to possess all the days that you live upon the earth. You shall utterly destroy all the places where the nations which you are to dispossess served their gods, on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. And you shall destroy their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their asherim with fire. And you shall cut down the carved images of their gods, and you shall destroy their name out of that place. You shall not do so to the Lord your God, but to the place out of all your tribes where the Lord your God shall choose to put his name, you shall seek his habitation, and there you shall come. And there you shall bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithes, and the offering of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offerings, and the firstborns of your herd and of your flock. And there you shall eat before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice in all that you put your hand to, you and your households, in which the Lord your God has blessed you. You shall not at all do as we do here this day, every man doing whatever is right in his own eyes. For as yet you have not come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God gives you. But when you go over the Jordan, and dwell in the land which the Lord your God causes you to inherit, and he gives you rest from all your enemies around, so that you dwell in safety. Second reading, Isaac-Gevurah. Then it shall come to pass that the place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there, there shall you bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, your tithes, and the offering of your hand, and all your choice vows which you vow to the Lord. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons, and your daughters, and your menservants, and your maidservants, and the Levite that is within your gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Take heed to yourself that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, but in the place in one of your tribes, where the Lord shall choose, there you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. However, you may slaughter and eat meat within all your gates, whatever the desire of your soul, according to the blessing of the Lord your God, which he has given you. The unclean and the clean may eat of it, as of the gazelle and the deer alike. Only you shall not eat the blood. You shall pour it out upon the earth as water. You may not eat within your gates the tithe of your corn, or of your wine, or of your oil, or the firstborns of your herd or of your flock, nor any offerings which you vow, not your free will offerings, nor the offering of your hand. But you shall eat them before the Lord your God, in the place which the Lord your God shall choose, you and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and the Levite that is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God in all that you put your hand to. Take heed to yourself that you forsake not the Levite as long as you live upon your land. When the Lord your God shall enlarge your border, as he has promised you, and you shall say, I will eat meat, because your soul desires to eat meat. You may eat meat as much as the desire of your soul. If the place which the Lord your God shall choose to put his name is too far from you, then you shall slaughter of your herd and of your flock, which the Lord has given you, as I have commanded you, and you shall eat within your gates, as much as the desire of your soul. Just as the gazelle and as the deer are eaten, so you shall eat them. The unclean and the clean may eat them alike. Only be sure not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life, and you shall not eat the life with the meat. You shall not eat it. You shall pour it out upon the earth as water. You shall not eat it, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, when you shall do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord. Only your holy things which you have, and your vows, you shall take and go to the place which the Lord shall choose. And you shall offer your burnt offerings, the meat and the blood, upon the altar of the Lord your God. And the blood of your sacrifices shall be poured out against the altar of the Lord your God, and you shall eat the flesh. Observe and hear all these words which I command you, that it may go well with you and with your children after you forever, when you do that which is good and right in the eyes of the Lord your God. Re'eh. Third reading, Jacob-Tiferet. When the Lord your God shall cut off the nations from before you, where you go in to dispossess them, and you displace them, and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire after their gods, saying, How did these nations serve their gods? I will also do likewise. You shall not do so to the Lord your God. For every abomination to the Lord which he hates have they done to their gods, for they even burned their sons and their daughters in the fire to their gods. All these words which I command you shall you observe to do. You shall not add to it, nor diminish from it. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and he gives you a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder comes to pass, of which he spoke to you, saying, Let us go after other gods which you have not known, and let us serve them. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet, or to that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you, to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. After the Lord your God shall you walk, and him shall you fear, and his commandments shall you keep, and to his voice shall you hearken, and him shall you serve, and to him shall you cleave. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken perversion against the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to draw you aside out of the way which the Lord your God commanded you to walk in. So shall you put away the evil from your midst. If your brother, the son of your mother, or your son, or your daughter, or the wife of your bosom, or your friend, that is as your own soul, entice you secretly, saying, Let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known, you nor your fathers, of the gods of the peoples that are around you, near to you, or far off from you, from the one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, you shall not consent to him, nor listen to him, nor shall your eye pity him, or shall you spare him, or conceal him. But you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. And you shall stone him with stones, that he die, because he has sought to draw you away from the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and not do again any such wickedness as this is in the midst of you. If you shall hear someone in one of your cities, which the Lord your God gives you to dwell in, saying, Corrupt men have gone out from among you, and have drawn away the inhabitants of their city, saying, Let us go and serve other gods which you have not known. Then shall you inquire and search out and ask diligently. And if it is indeed true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought among you, you shall surely smite the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is in it and its livestock with the edge of the sword. And you shall gather all the spoil of it into the midst of the broad place thereof, and shall burn with fire the city, and all its plunder to the Lord your God. And it shall be a heap forever, it shall not be built again. And there shall cleave nothing of the accursed thing to your hand, that the Lord may turn from the fierceness of his anger, and show you mercy, and have compassion upon you, and multiply you, as he has sworn to your fathers. When you shall hearken to the voice of the Lord your God, to keep all his commandments which I command you this day, to do that which is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. Re'eh. Fourth reading, Moses-Netzach. You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be his own treasure out of all the people that are upon the face of the earth. You shall not eat any detestable thing. These are the beasts which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the deer and the gazelle, and the roebuck, and the wild goat, and the mountain goat, and the antelope, and the mountain sheep, and every beast that parts the hoof, and has the hoof wholly cloven in two, and chews the cud, among the beasts, that you may eat. Nevertheless you shall not eat of those that only chew the cud, or of those that only have the hoof cloven, the camel, and the hare, and the rock badger, because they chew the cud, but do not have a cloven hoof, they are unclean to you. And the swine, because he parts the hoof, but does not chew the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall not touch. These you may eat of all that are in the waters. Whatever has fins and scales you may eat, and whatsoever hath not fins and scales you shall not eat. It is unclean to you. Of all clean birds you may eat, but these you shall not eat: the great vulture, and the bearded vulture, and the buzzard, and the red kite, and the falcon, and the kite after its kinds, and every raven after its kinds, and the ostrich, and the night hawk, and the seagull, and the hawk after its kinds, the little owl, and the great owl, and the horned owl, and the pelican, and the Corian vulture, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after its kinds, and the hoopoe, and the bat. And all winged, swarming things are unclean to you. They shall not be eaten. Of all clean winged things you may eat. You shall not eat of anything that dies by itself. You may give it to the stranger that is within your gates, that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. Re'eh. Fifth reading, Aaron-Hod. You shall surely tithe all the increase of your grain that the field produces year by year. And you shall eat before the Lord your God in the place which he shall choose to cause his name to dwell there, the tithe of your corn, of your wine, and of your oil, and the firstborns of your herd and of your flock, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. And if the way be too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, because the place is too far from you, which the Lord your God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord your God shall bless you, then shall you turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and shall go to the place which the Lord your God shall choose. And you shall bestow the money for whatever your soul desires, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatever your soul asks of you. And you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, you and your household. And the Levite that is within your gates, you shall not forsake him, for he has no portion or inheritance with you. At the end of every 3 years, in the same year, you shall bring out all the tithe of your increase, and shall lay it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance with you, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. Re'eh. Sixth reading, Joseph-Yesod. At the end of every 7 years you shall make a release. And this is the manner of the release. Every creditor shall release that which he has lent to his neighbor. He shall not require it of his neighbor and his brother, because the Lord's release has been proclaimed. Of a foreigner you may require it, but whatever of yours is with your brother your hand shall release, except when there shall be no needy among you. For the Lord will surely bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance to possess. Only if you diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord your God, to observe to do all this commandment which I command you this day. For the Lord your God will bless you, as he promised you, and you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall rule over many nations, but they shall not rule over you. If there is a needy man among you, one of your brethren, within any of your gates, in your land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your needy brother, but you shall surely open your hand to him, and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wants. Beware that there be not a wicked thought in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your needy brother, and you give him nothing, and he cry to the Lord against you, and it becomes sin in you. You shall surely give him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him, because for this thing the Lord your God will bless you in all your work, and in all that you put your hand to. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall surely open your hand to your poor and needy brother in your land. If your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, be sold to you, he shall serve you 6 years, and in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. And when you let him go free from you, you shall not let him go empty. You shall furnish him liberally out of your flock, and out of your threshing floor, and out of your winepress. From what the Lord your God has blessed you with, you shall give to him. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore I command you this thing today. And if he shall say to you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your house, because he fares well with you, then you shall take an awl, and thrust it through his ear and into the door, and he shall be your servant forever. And also to your female servant you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard to you, when you let him go free from you, for he has been worth a double hired servant in serving you 6 years, and the Lord your God will bless you in all that you do. Re'eh. 7th reading, David-Malchut. All the firstborn males that are born of your herd and of your flock you shall sanctify to the Lord your God. You shall do no work with the firstborn of your ox, nor shear the firstborn of your flock. You shall eat it before the Lord your God, year by year in the place which the Lord shall choose, you and your household. And if there be any blemish in it, lameness or blindness, any ill blemish whatsoever, you shall not sacrifice it to the Lord your God. You shall eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean may eat it, as the gazelle and the deer alike. Only you shall not eat its blood. You shall pour it out upon the ground as water. Observe the month of Aviv, and keep the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Aviv the Lord your God brought you forth out of Egypt by night. And you shall sacrifice the Passover offering to the Lord your God, of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Lord shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread with it, the bread of affliction. For in haste did you come forth out of the land of Egypt, that you may remember the day when you came forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. And there shall be no leaven seen with you in all your territory for 7 days, nor shall any of the meat which you sacrificed the first day at twilight remain overnight until the morning. You may not sacrifice the Passover offering within any of your gates which the Lord your God gives you, but at the place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell in, there you shall sacrifice the Passover offering at twilight, at the setting of the sun, at the season that you came forth out of Egypt. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which the Lord your God shall choose. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. You shall count 7 weeks for yourself. From the time the sickle is first put to the standing corn shall you begin to count 7 weeks. And you shall keep the feast of weeks to the Lord your God, after the measure of the freewill offering of your hand, which you shall give, according as the Lord your God blesses you. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and the Levite that is within your gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall observe and do these statutes. Re'eh, maftir. You shall keep the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days, after you have gathered in from your threshing floor and from your winepress. And you shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and the Levite, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within your gates. 7 days shall you keep a feast to the Lord your God, in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord your God shall bless you in all your produce, and in all the work of your hands, and you shall be altogether joyful. 3 times a year shall all your males appear before the Lord your God in the place which he shall choose, on the feast of unleavened bread, and on the feast of weeks, and on the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God, which he has given you. Haftarah of Re'eh. Isaiah 54:11 through 55:5. You afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will set your stones in fair colors, and lay your foundations with sapphires. And I will make your pinnacles of rubies, and your gates of crystal, and all your walls of precious stones. And all your children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of your children. In righteousness shall you be established. You shall be far from oppression, for you shall not fear, and from ruin, for it shall not come near you. Behold, they may gather together, but not by me. Whoever shall gather together against you shall fall because of you. Behold, I have created the blacksmith that blows the fire of coals and brings forth a weapon for his work, and I have created the spoiler to destroy. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their due reward from me, says the Lord. Everyone who thirsts, come for water, and he that has no money, come buy and eat. Yes, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Why do you spend money for that which is not bread, and for your grain which does not satisfy? Listen diligently to me, and eat that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear, and your soul shall live, and I will make an everlasting covenant with you, the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him as a witness to the people, a prince and commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that you know not, and a nation that knew not you shall run to you, because of the Lord your God, and for the Holy One of Israel, for he has glorified you.